And we're back for another episode of Armchair GMs brought to you by Jocks of All Trades podcast. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Bugman J. And this guy over here,
Matty Ice.
yay. What's going on, brother?
Oh, just Christmas grind, Christmas programs, ready for it all to be done and over with. You know how it goes.
Yes.
But other than that, enjoying the holiday season as best as I can. It's all you really can do for sure. How about yourself, man? How's the week been?
Whew. It's been pretty hectic, but it all comes with a reward. Extra time off, so I can't really complain. And it also helps me get my kids what they want for Christmas, so they won't be
Right.
scrooges around the house. But it's been pretty good. Oh, I hate in-person shopping in the holiday season. That is my one
Mhm.
rant of the day. It's just not in me. My wife can muscle through it and smile and do it with all kinds of grace, but me, I'm just like, oh, I'm just ready to go. Come on, can we go now? We don't have to get this stuff
I,
here. We can do it some other time. Can we go now? It was like
I feel
go ahead.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Like in person, like me personally, I don't like people to begin with. So you throw in the holidays mixed in with shopping and dealing with people's craziness. It just
Deal
ah,
breaker.
it's too much for me. But I instantly get rage like that, unintentional. But
It
it's
happens
it's
sometimes.
people. Yeah, it's people's demeanor.
Yes, there you go. Okay, so off the top, I know there's been a lot of good football these past
Hmm.
couple of weeks that we've been privy to,
Hmm.
and out of the last couple of weeks, give me a player many people may not know, but he's impressed you fantasy wise.
Ooh,
Because
actually.
we're in playoff season, so most leagues. Full disclaimer. If you're a part of the NFL Fantasy Podcast, you still have a week left to fight. So if you're in the hunt, or if you're trying to solidify a first round bye, or higher seeding in your playoff bracket, we also this kind of goes together a little bit because it's kind of like the same as start and sit. So if I feel like they're good in the playoffs, I really feel like they'd really be good to play to try to kind of put you over the hump over some other players. But go ahead.
So for me, the player that has impressed me the most the past couple weeks, and we've taken jabs at him. At least I have the past couple years, but I got
Mm-hmm.
to give it up for Evan Ingram. He went off this past week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, this coming week he's going to have a very tough matchup against Dallas. So I'd be
Yeah.
a little hesitant on starting him. I mean, we know Dallas's defense; they're tough, plain and simple. But I mean, if he's available in your league, especially for playoffs right now, I pick him up and stash him because
Yeah.
after this week he'll go up against the Jets, Houston, and Tennessee. So yeah, he's impressed me the most. This past week, he just went off. Like I was afraid that I was going to take a loss in one of my leagues because the guy I was going up against had him in Ingram, and I
Mm-hmm.
was just sweating the whole time. I was like, "Oh no,
He's
this was
gonna
supposed to
take
be
me
an easy
down.
win." Yeah, but
Into
yeah, that's the player that's surprised me the most the past couple of weeks. How about you? Do you got anyone?
well, I actually think I have two.
Ooh.
Um, I'd have to give it up. Let me look. Give me 1 second.
I guess if I had to choose another player, though, um, even though fantasy stats don't show it, I think he's
Mm-hmm.
really stepping into his own. I got to go with Mac Jones as well. Like I'm enjoying watching the Mac Jones and Matt Patricia, feud going on at the sidelines. Like you could tell Mac Jones, he wants that football. He wants to do something with it. And Patricia wants to hold the reins down. But yeah, that would be another player that's really impressed me the past couple of weeks as well. So
I have Zay Jones because he really came out of nowhere to be the clear number 2 wide receiver in Jacksonville. So he's garnished 3 of the last 4 games. He's gotten double-digit targets and double-digit fantasy points. He dropped pass away from it being 4 games. So he's showing consistency and showing a higher element to his game because me being me, I didn't really think much of Zay Jones. He kind of was an afterthought in my mind, but he's somehow in the system established himself as a clear number 2. So it has to be noted that he is the guy that looking right now as of today, he is 55.7% rostered. So he is a little bit less than half the league people may play in. He is available. So if he's out there, that is a guy that can really put you over the hump as far as fantasy. So I have to say him off top. And another one, Donovan Peoples-Jones. He kind of took a rocket shoot in the air. He kind of, when he first started to show himself, I thought he may have turned back into a pumpkin. So I was kind of hesitant to bring him out in the earlier weeks when he was playing with Jacoby Brissett, but it's evident he's getting the target share. He got 12 targets last week. He's gotten 8 targets in at least 5 of the last 7 games. So the involvement is there. So it's just about the consistency, and it looks like he's building towards something, and he is 51.7% rostered. So in almost half the league, he's around. So that's another guy that could potentially put you over the hump if Voldemort somehow, he who shall not be named, starts to become competent at the quarterback position, then the elements to his game could become even more greater. So the potential is always there. So those are my 2 guys. They're both at wide receiver and deeper leagues. You guys better just take a look at them. Shallower leagues, they're around. So get them. And if they're a healthy scratch on your bench, at least in a pinch in the playoffs, you have a guy that can immediately step in and you won't lose as much if you lose another key piece. But anyway, I digress.
So I want to play devil's advocate there for just a brief second before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
You named a Jaguars player. I named a Jaguars player. Is this a sign of things to come for next year? Maybe the Jaguars, become a good team.
Well, they'll have, if you remember, Atlanta traded Calvin Ridley to Jacksonville for a draft pick. So they'll essentially have their 1, 2, and 3 starters. Their starting running back, with slight improvements to their offensive line and slight improvements to their defense in the secondary. I could honestly see a slight contender, AFC South contender for the division year in and year out, because as it looks right now, they may have the best. How would you put it? They may have the best value or the best bet, the best odds to actually be the top than anyone else in that division right now, in my opinion. That's just the Bugman's opinion.
I could see it, though. I could see it.
Yeah.
Because, we've talked about it before. Derrick Henry's getting older.
Mm-hmm.
Tannehill, it's pretty evident that
he's not the future, and neither is Willis. So they're literally probably at square one.
So Tennessee is going to probably drop off.
Who's going to be the quarterback next year for Indy? There's no telling.
Who knows?
What
They might
journeyman
try
will where journeyman will sign a 1-year contract next year. But
exactly.
as it stands, if they were to tank, their value, their odds of getting a star caliber quarterback go up. But I don't feel that Jeff Saturday has it in him to just ship it in, But they need to, because Matt Ryan is a ghost.
Yeah.
He's gonna get a lot of people injured and overworked.
Oh yeah, easily.
He makes the game a lot. Like, he just makes the game harder for the players because they have to do more than just run their route. They have to run their route and then find a way to catch whatever Matty Ice is throwing at them. So it's like, when he was good, when he's on, like, he has sparse games where he does look competent, but his ADOT is super low. His accuracy on the deep ball is laughable at best. And just, the little things. Like if I were to compare him to Aaron Rodgers, you would take the ADOT, and it would be the only stat I would have to pull out. The average depth of target for his receivers. I could even take the median, the average number, and it still would make Matt Ryan look as if he should have left the league 2 years.
Oh yeah.
Just walked away. But I don't want to bash him. He was a great quarterback for us when he was. I saw elite potential in him, but I also saw it squandered by bad coaching. So they go hand in hand. You can't put all the blame on our inefficiency to win games, because we saw the greatest of Matt Ryan's potential in Super Bowl in 2016. So we know what he was capable of doing at the time, but coaching also had a hand in just turning the tide of that game. But I digress. No rants today. We're going to get into our most joyous part of the episode. The part that
I have a feeling I know what it's about.
But yes. And after we do our ads, we'll go to what you guys probably already know, my rant corner. I'm just going to make it short and sweet today, and we're going to roll with it. You ready for the ads, my bud?
I'm ready for the ads, bud. Let's go ahead and pay our dues here.
First one is up.
Our first ad is from Fresh Cuts. Fresh Cuts is a local barbershop in Marion, Indiana. Contact Caleb Kemper for an appointment time through www.freshcutsbarbershop.com. It's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Steve Wood Illustrations, here for all your art needs from Star Wars to G.I. Joe and beyond. See him for all your nerds in your life who you aren't sure what to get. You will not be disappointed.
Definitely not.
Let's see. Our friends from Afro Latinos are changing things up. Check out the Culture Corner podcast featuring Aubin and Shaylin. They have a diverse number of shows from Come On Son to an old classic, You Think You Know. Catch them live and play along. Rules of the Frame is another friend cast specializing in movie reviews of pretty much anything there is. Connor was recently on an episode of Random Fandom talking about film, and we hope to have him on another show of ours, Smash Popcorn, real soon. And then 1,000 Wives of Weird is just that, weird. From movie reviews of weird movies to criticizing bad movie choices, Brad H. and Ian Kiefer will keep you entertained and laughing hours on end. Check them out exclusively on Spotify.
And we're done. Good job, buddy. Woo. All right. Here is my favorite part of the show. I'm just kidding. But drop that. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to tell you guys something great. The football gods, they heard the calls of the true Atlanta Falcons fans. Not saying that all Falcons fans aren't true Falcons fans, but if the shoe fits, you know who you are. But anyway, I digress. I've been calling for Marcus Mariota to get benched for weeks. Ever since the butt pass, it was just one thing after another that just continued to show that he just wasn't the guy. And my only understanding of this is if you have two quarterbacks, right, and they're supposed to be carbon copies of one another, wouldn't you, if the older version can't win games and all he's doing is losing, right? What would it hurt to put in the younger version? The one that actually has shown in Cincinnati to be a deep ball thrower. He may not be the most accurate, accuracy is as something that can't be has shown to not being able to progress as you get older. But Josh Allen also shows that you can be one of the least accurate quarterbacks coming into the draft and then just become that guy. It all depends on who your coach is. And I think Ragnow is a pretty good quarterbacks coach over there in Atlanta. But anyway, I digress. So now Desmond Ridder is finally getting an opportunity to start. But also laying in the wings, I saw a day later that Marcus Mariota left the facility to get a second opinion on what he called chronic knee pain. So come to find out, he's had to have knee surgery. He's going to have knee surgery tomorrow. And he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So I really wonder if the injury kind of forced their hand, or was it kind of the issue of Marcus Mariota wanting to continue to try even though he had the ailment. But whatever the case may be, I wish Marcus Mariota the best. I know pretty definitely that he's not going to be on our team next year. And it's going to be, as of right now, this is Desmond Ridder's audition. So whether he knows if he can win games, he may have a shot to be the quarterback next year. He's got 5 games. But if he loses, he just knows he's going that much closer to being the backup again next year. Because we got him for 4 years. Unless he's dreadful, we're not going to cut him. So if he can be proved to be a competent quarterback, we can turn him into a matchup. Maybe he'll blossom one day somewhere. But anyway, that's my rant for the day. I'm just so glad that the Atlanta Falcons, for whatever reason, whether it's because Mariota was hurt, probably is, whatever the case may be, Sunday I'm going to get front row seat to see exactly how well or how bad Desmond Ridder may or may not be, and I'll keep you posted.
So I'm going to go ahead and do a hot take now. You were talking about what journeyman is going to go to the Colts next year. I'm just going to go ahead and say it's going to be Marcus Mariota.
Oh, my. What? You think Jeff Saturday can fix him?
Well, no, I'm not saying he can fix him. I'm just saying the Colts, the past few years, they sign, aging quarterbacks.
What about Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold's a free agent next year.
Either way, the Colts aren't going to find their long-term solution. They're going to find someone to put a Band-Aid over the elephant in the room.
Unless they keep losing. If they keep losing, they have a shot. They have a shot if they keep losing at getting the quarterback.
They do, but I mean, I don't know. I don't trust Jim Irsay anymore. Like I really don't with the Colts organization. Like it's one of those where every offseason I'm like, if the past few off seasons, I'm like, all right, they have a chance to get somewhat of a decent quarterback to draft, and they don't. They don't. They go and grab an aging quarterback and want to put a Band-Aid over the situation when clearly you need a long-term solution because it's detrimental to wide receivers, development. I mean, Michael Pittman, he was supposed to be a top-tier wide receiver this year. He was supposed to be. But, I mean, you look at last year. Yeah, this year is with Matt Ryan. Who was he with last year?
Was it Carson Wentz in the year before that?
Yeah, Carson Wentz, and then the year before that, Phillip Rivers. I mean, 3 quarterbacks, 3 years. That's not good for development as a wide receiver.
No,
because you're not developing rapport, you're not developing chemistry. It's detrimental. It's detrimental. So,
do you want to know what their draft spot is right now?
I looked at it. I forget what is it like. It's in the top 10, isn't it?
Yeah, 7. They're not that bad.
Yeah. So I mean, they have a chance to get possibly good quarterback and early in the draft. It's just, will they do it? That's the ultimate question.
Hell no.
But
No.
it'll be
That's
here.
your answer.
Draft day will be here before too long, so we'll figure it out.
Honestly, I think it's the wide receiver. I mean, the quarterback class this year is probably the deepest it's ever been. So the likelihood of them signing a decent quarterback, unless their scouts are just garbage, which with Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman in their last couple of drafts, I don't really think their scouts are that bad. They're bad at offensive linemen, though. They're bad at evaluating offensive linemen. They are.
Yeah.
But I digress. All right, we're going to speed through our Jocks grade so we can get to our playoff locks and bench warmers. So we're going to run it out like this. All right, I'm going to give you both my winners and my losers for quarterback and running back. Okay. I'm going to give honorable mentions for both winners and losers, good grades, bad grades. I give an A+ to Trevor Lawrence. He is right now. Ooh, that went up. Ooh. I just looked at this, and Trevor Lawrence was rostered in 51.9% of leagues. It just went up to 69.5.
Nice.
So there is something into this. He had 33.4 fantasy points. He was 30 for 42 for 368 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also had 3 rushing attempts for 7 yards and a touchdown. So in all total, he scored 4 total touchdowns. He beat out Jalen Hurts by 3 fantasy points. All right.
Still beat him out.
Yeah, and that is my honorable mention. He also had a very good game. It was more of a balanced game. He was 21 for 31 for 217, 2 touchdowns, 7 rushes for 77 yards, and another touchdown. So that put his at 30.4. All right. My losers as we go down this list. I was going to say Voldemort, but I'm going to leave him out for right now. I'm going to go with Mac Jones. He was efficient. Actually, I'm going to change that. Can I change that? Derek Carr.
I'll allow it. Ooh, yeah.
Derek Carr, 11 for 20 for 137 yards and 2 interceptions. That is not good.
Can I throw in an honorable mention?
Yes.
For QB?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to give one to going ahead while I can pull up the stats.
And I am going to go with Mac Jones as well. He was pretty bad. 24 for 35, 235 yards, interception, 5 rushes for -1 yards. How can you? That's 8.3 fantasy points. What are you going to do with that?
Nothing.
Exactly. All right. You have your honorable.
I'm going to throw in an honorable mention. I know it's going to. We talked about it last week when the game happened, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. I'm giving an A+ to Baker Mayfield. I'm doing it.
Yes. I second that. I second that.
I mean, I understand there was a lot of things that the Raiders did to kind of seal the win for the Rams. However, for Baker Mayfield to be with the Rams for 48 hours, learn that playbook, and in the final drive, drive it 98 yards to seal the game-winning touchdown. I got to give it up for Baker Mayfield there. Is that a long-term solution? No, absolutely not. But the fact that, again,
it's
48 hours.
To build himself back up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. To go over those stats, 22 of 35, 230 yards, 1 touchdown. He was sacked 4 times, but, I mean, that's just, the Rams' offensive line is just trash this year, in my opinion. 4 attempts for 10 yards. Yeah, A+ to Baker Mayfield. That's my honorable mention. Go back to it, Jay.
All right. Also, honorable mention for Brock Purdy as well. I'm not going to get into his stats, but he played a pretty good game, and he demolished the Tampa Bay defense. System or no system, I could be a good quarterback in that system. Put me in that system. That system is making – it's just generating Jimmy Garoppolo's. It's just making Jimmy Garoppolo types. That's all they're doing, just pushing him out. But anyway, I digress. I am going to do this like this. Jerick McKinnon of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's gonna be my standalone guy for running back because I love a gadget back more than I actually love. Well, in PPR, than I love a pure runner like Nick Chubb. I love Nick Chubb. I'll draft Nick Chubb 10 times out of 10 in a non-PPR league. But let me give you these stats. They're gonna sound a little off at the beginning, but trust me, you're gonna be able to you're gonna like this. All right, Jerick McKinnon had 6 rush attempts for 22 yards, but he did have 7 receptions on 9 targets for 112 yards and 2 touchdowns to give him 32.4 PPR points, and he is rostered in only 48.9% of leagues.
Those are great numbers.
Great numbers. You could use those numbers out of the backfield. Third down backs right now, especially for this offense that's pass heavy, it can be something that you could really use. Another thing you could really use to just keep you above the next team. Putting him in your flex, he does have a floor because you do see that he only got 6 rush attempts, but he did get 7 targets. So it may not always be that high. Because with Isaiah Pacheco there, he's only there as a handcuff. But that is something you could look at to say, hey, I see where his ceiling can be. Now let me see if I can find his floor. And he may be plug and play. He may not be, but I take a chance on it. I'm just saying. I take a chance on it. Okay. My F of the week goes to Saquon Barkley. Sorry, we just talked so good about him. But he had 9 rushes for 28 yards, 3.1 yards per carry, 2 receptions for 20 yards, no touchdowns, for a grand total of 6.8 PPR points. They played against a tough team last week, so it was kind of hard for the run game to really get established. I give him that. He's been a top 8 running back in PPR all year. He was top 3. He was number 3 for a couple weeks. So he's showing he has potential. It was just a really bad game. And that offensive line is showing a little bit of leakage. It has been showing that for the last couple of weeks. So I don't know where to go from here, but if I don't have anybody better, I'm still probably going to start Saquon. Not to get ahead of myself.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Yes.
So, for wide receivers this week, I got to give an A+ to Justin Jefferson. 15 targets, 11 receptions, 223 yards, no touchdowns. That was the only thing that, could have made his day even more perfect than what it already was, in my opinion. Unfortunately, Minnesota did lose against Detroit. I'm going to blame that on the defensive coordinator and
My wife loved that whole game.
Oh, I bet. But, Jefferson, I feel like he couldn't do any wrong this past week. I would still start him this week, but I wouldn't expect, numbers like that this coming week. They are going up against Indy, who have proven to be tough due to their pass rushing. Indy this year has had 3+ sacks in 7 games this year, and has recorded a sack in every game except for one this year. So Justin Jefferson, 33.3 points this week. Hell of a game, in my opinion. I'm giving an F to Stephon Diggs, though. 5 targets, 3 receptions, 37 yards, only 6.7 points.
Yeah. That hurt.
Yeah. He was kept in check, though, by Ahmad Gardner.
Yeah. Sauce Gardner put the shimmy shake.
I'm telling you, like I was gonna say, I underestimated Sauce.
I told you
coming into the draft. You did tell me. My thought was, with him playing in Cincinnati, playing in the MAC, I thought, the competition isn't that great. Blah 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 blah. I'll admit I was wrong. Sauce Gardner is the real deal, in my opinion. I'm looking for Stephon Diggs to bounce back a little bit this week.
Mm-hmm.
They do go up against Miami. His stat line do up.
It's lax defense, and it's 1 to 3 inches of snow, 10 to 15 mile an hour winds.
Yeah, so they may be throwing the ball. I still look for Stephon Diggs to do something. His week 3 matchup against Miami, he put up 7 receptions for 74 yards for 14.4 points.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Let's see if Stephon Diggs can bounce back this week. For tight ends, I mentioned it earlier. Mm-hmm. I'm giving an A+ to Evan Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
Put up 39.2 points. 39.2 points.
We want me to let you know something funny?
Let me hear it.
I had a late injury at tight end in one league, and Evan Ingram was the first thing I saw, and I just grabbed him up and I put him in my starting lineup, and I looked at it Sunday night, and I'm like, okay, how did that happen?
You're stashing him, right?
Yeah, he's there.
I don't blame you. 15 targets, 11 receptions, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns.
There you go.
Career day for him.
Mm-hmm.
Career day for him. I mean,
I
mentioned it earlier. Do what?
Only took him 6 years.
No comment, but yes. But it's going to be hard to look at him as a starter this week going up against Dallas. Dallas's defense is tough. They've kept a lot of wide receivers and tight ends in check. I mean, he might be worth it. Do up.
They're middle of the pack against tight ends.
Oh, they are, but I mean, their pass rush is what I'm most concerned about.
There you go.
Is Trevor Lawrence going to get that ball out fast enough?
There you go. I predict it to be a pretty good game, though.
I hope so.
I hope they turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah. I'm giving an F to Mark Andrews, though.
Mm-hmm.
6 targets, 2 receptions, 17 yards for 3.7 points. Offensive struggles for Baltimore. They continued against Pittsburgh this past week. I will also consider him to be a high-risk start due to Lamar Jackson not playing.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Huntley, I believe he's still in concussion protocol.
Yeah, so he probably won't play.
And in the previous matchup against Cleveland in Week 7, he was only held to 0.4 points, 2 targets. So it's hard for me to consider starting Mark Andrews this week. If you have a tight end, stashed away somewhere, if you are a fantasy owner,
50% rostered, so he's still available.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, those are my jock grades this week for wide receivers and tight ends.
And we're done. All right, now let's kind of swiftly push through our playoff locks and bench warmers. We're going to focus on offense, we're going to focus on. Give me your top 2 locks for quarterback right now.
Top 2 for
Hold on. Let me stage just a little bit better. All right. I'm going to give you the groupings. Okay. If you had Jared Goff, Trevor Lawrence, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, and Dak Prescott, what's the order? And are all of those locks or some of those locks? Which ones are playoff locks and which ones are bench warmers? I'll give you the names again. We have Jared Goff, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, and hold on, I'm missing one. All right, okay. Jared Goff, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, Ryan Tannehill, Dak Prescott.
So for locks, I'm instantly going to go with Geno Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to throw in Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm. As a lock?
I am.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason being is because, they're starting to get some of their wide receivers back. Mm-hmm. And they just added T.Y. Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I don't know the impact that T.Y. is going to have this late in the season.
Minimal.
But we'll get to that later. Hint, hint. But I will put Dak, as a lock because of those circumstances. You are getting James Washington back, Michael Gallup. He should be coming back healthy. CeeDee Lamb. I mean, there's reasons why I would put him as a lock.
Okay.
Geno Smith, I would still put him as a lock. Even though he started out having a bad game this past week,
mm-hmm.
he still turned it out. He turned it around and still, put up the points that was needed to secure the win and, put up some decent numbers at the same time. As far as Jared Goff, let me look at his numbers real quick. Hold on.
They might surprise you.
I want to say lock. I'm not going to lie because something about him this year, he's just turned it on. And I'd say lock. I'd say lock for Jared Goff because, he does have the weapons. Granted, this coming week, it would be a risk because he is going up against the Jets. We just talked about Ahmad Gardner there, a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's shutting down wide receivers left and right, but he has other options. Now,
a lot more options than he had in the last 4 weeks prior to this.
Oh, yeah. Now, as far as bench warmers,
mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones, it's hard for me to trust Danny Dimes. It really is. Well, let's look at his numbers real quick because now you have me curious.
Mm-hmm. Would you rather have Baker? Would you rather have Danny Dimes or Tua Tagovailoa?
I would take Tua.
Even Tua.
I would take. Yeah, I know the numbers are well against him, but I think because Tua can still move around with his feet. Not saying that Danny Dimes can't,
mm-hmm.
but Tua, he has that winner's mentality. He's a great. Like I underestimated what kind of quarterback he would be this year, and he's one of those players. He's also proven me wrong this year. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would almost take Tua over Daniel Jones. He
proved me right last week.
Oh yeah,
he was bad.
Oh yeah, he was. He was. But I mean, I don't know. It's just that whole California trip for him the past couple weeks has been awful for him. So, but I would still take him over Daniel Jones. But no, Daniel Jones definitely a bench warmer. Who was the other person? Tannehill.
Yes.
I can't trust Tannehill. He's a bench warmer.
Even with Traylon Burks back?
I don't trust him enough, dude. He's been so up and down that it's hard for me to trust what he's going to do from a week to week basis. So yeah, Tannehill for sure, a bench warmer.
Okay. All right. Now, we all know of the Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. Would you consider Jalen Hurts to be added to that playoff lock quarterback category?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. You know, in my opinion, Jalen Hurts is MVP this year.
I could agree with that.
I know we've talked about it before, I think in a previous episode, over who we would consider MVP at the halfway mark of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And, the numbers don't lie for Jalen Hurts. Right now for the MVP race, I have Jalen Hurts at number one. And at number two, I do have Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
But the gap is, literally, well, I guess it really wouldn't be that wide. But I still got to give the edge to Jalen Hurts. So, yeah.
Okay. What flips me in the opposite way is I would really feel like, has Jalen Hurts been able to overshadow the behemoth that Patrick Mahomes is? Because in my eyes, it's more of Patrick Mahomes' MVP to lose, because I really feel like Jalen Hurts has to seriously outplay him by either winning a Super Bowl or making it to the conference championship or whatever the case may be. I think a lot of that's decided before the Super Bowl anyway. So he would just have to blow the doors off. And he's been able to do that for the most part. Like this final stretch, he's got to show that he is that guy. Because if he can't, it's going to go to Patrick Mahomes. I probably can guarantee it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and hit you with a lightning round question.
Okay.
And, it is in terms of, Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. In fact, I'm going to give you some extra time for this one. I'm going to give you a full minute to answer this question. So, for MVP race this year, we already talked about it. Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. Who has done the most to make their team succeed? And with that in mind, who has the best chance of winning MVP?
Okay. Not to go back over my previous statements, it's kind of, if you want to put it in your mind, you have to think about wins above replacement, kind of like baseball. With that person in the game, how much more likely is it that you're going to win? Both of them stand pretty firm in that position. The next thing you look at is how many explosive plays do you see from this person game in and game out? Patrick Mahomes kind of stands off from him a little bit in that category, or kind of above him. He kind of does it a little bit better. With the only thing we probably haven't seen from Patrick Mahomes yet is a behind the back pass, and it's probably coming, because there are weeks where you can just see was he able to do that? How is he able to do that? But with Jalen Hurts, it's more of, all right, now he's a competent quarterback. Now he can throw the ball with some accuracy. Now he can be that guy. So in my eyes, it's honestly the guy who is there, and it's like I'm already here, and Jalen Hurts just got to him. So I would have to give it to Patty.
Okay.
Patty Mahomes, man.
So I'll just wrap this up with the whole Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts with just two quick questions.
Mm-hmm.
Passing wise, who would you rather have, Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts?
Patrick Mahomes.
Passing the ball.
Patrick
Okay.
Mahomes.
Running the ball.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Okay. All right. I like
the
it.
elements of their game. Patrick Mahomes does run the ball, but he doesn't run the ball as a rusher. He runs the ball as a eluder. If that makes any sense. It's not a designed run. If you look at their playbook on Madden, there's not a lot of designed runs for Patrick Mahomes because that's not what his game is based on. Jalen Hurts' game is based similar to Lamar Jackson's game because they're a run-heavy offense. So you have to have a quarterback that's able to run that offense. So it kind of works with it. That air raid offense that Patrick Mahomes runs, phenomenal. It gives him the ability to use those open spaces to make rushing yards for himself. So just give me Jalen Hurts' legs and Patrick Mahomes' arm, and we'll make an Android quarterback. That's the best quarterback ever. I'm sorry.
His name is Mike White.
Yeah. Oh, no. No. I would have rather you said Brock Purdy. No. He is not. No.
I had to do it, man. I had to do it. I had to do it just to see your reaction.
I'm going to change my name to not Mike White. Okay. Mike White ain't right. That's going to be my rant. Mike White ain't right. All right. We're gonna finish out our bench warmers. I'm going to give you a couple names. It's kind of the would you rather have kind of deal. Quick answers, and here we go. Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow? Both of them only really have one competent wide receiver and a tight end. One has Mike Williams.
I think I would go with Joe Burrow, honestly.
All right. Dak Prescott or Geno Smith?
Geno Smith, honestly. Okay. I know I just said a lot of great things about Dak, but I got to go with Geno on this one.
Kirk Cousins or the newly resurgent Russell Wilson?
Yeah, I got to go with Kirk. I don't trust Russell Wilson enough anymore. Like I really don't.
Kirk Cousins or Brock Purdy?
I'm going to hop on the Brock Purdy train.
All right. Brock Purdy or Trevor Lawrence? Last one.
I'm going to go with Brock Purdy still. Ooh. Just because that system. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is proven it.
They just lost Debo.
Oh, yeah. In that case, let me rephrase that. We're going with Trevor Lawrence.
All right. Julio. Good job. You did better that time. All right. Now.
Totally redeemed myself.
Christian McCaffrey or Austin Eckler?
I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey or James Conner? You can finish your statement first. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I was just going to say Christian McCaffrey. I'm still going to go with Christian McCaffrey because, he's going to be getting a lot of touches and a lot of targets with Deebo Samuel being out for upwards of the next 3 weeks.
Oh, cool. Not cool, but good.
Yeah.
All right. So, Derrick Henry or Tony Pollard?
I'm going with Derrick Henry. It's tough, but I got to go with Derrick Henry.
All right, cool. All right, I'm going to give you one more. It's kind of a dart throw. Zonovan Knight or Tony Pollard?
With that one, I gotta go with Tony Pollard.
All right. Oh yeah, Damian Pierce is out at least 3 weeks with a ankle injury.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I got one for you. Joe Mixon or Najee Harris?
I gotta go with Joe Mixon. Najee Harris, he's been one of the flops of this year. Joe Mixon, he's had a lot of great games. I gotta go with Joe Mixon.
All right. Now we're going to go through wide receivers and close this one out. Jerry Jeudy or Juju Smith-Schuster?
I'm going with Juju because Jerry Jeudy, I mean, he's a great player, but Russell Wilson, he's in concussion protocol right now, I believe. So,
Okay. Zay Jones or DJ Chark?
Zay Jones.
Okay.
I don't even need to question that one. I trust DJ Shark, but Zay Jones has done a lot the past few weeks.
Okay. Zay Jones or Donovan Peoples-Jones?
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
I still got to go with Zay Jones.
Okay.
I trust Trevor Lawrence a little bit more than I do Deshaun Watson right now. So,
Phooey. AJ Brown or Mike Williams?
you're gonna make me do it.
Yes, I am. That's what I'm here for.
AJ Brown. I got to go with AJ Brown.
AJ Brown or Jerry Jeudy?
Oh, AJ Brown.
What?
Over Jerry Jeudy?
Yes.
Yeah, right now, because Russell Wilson is in concussion protocol. I got to go with AJ Brown.
All right. I had to push you. I had to push you.
I was going to say.
All right. One more, and I'll let you go. Adam Thielen or Tyler Lockett in the flex?
I got to go with Thielen. Hooked on a Thielen.
All right. I'm gonna throw this back a little bit. This is for flex. Adam Thielen or Jarrett McKinnon?
Oh, Jarrett McKinnon.
Okay.
I was going to say, I mean, Thielen's been impressive the past, couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But Jarrett McKinnon has just turned it on, and he's proven to be a security blanket for Patrick Mahomes in those third down situations. So when he can just dump it off to him and let him run, for sure. So
There you go.
Jarrett McKinnon.
All right. And that is our playoff locks and bench warmers. Woohoo! We made it.
Woot.
All right. Do you have any more lightning round questions?
I do have two.
All right.
One of you already know about because I said hint, hint. I kind of want to get your input on it. So let me pull up the clock here. So we saw that T.Y. Hilton, he did sign with the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there were talks about Dallas signing OBJ. That didn't work out, so they went out and got, I don't want to say the next best thing, but, someone decent. So how much of an impact do you think T.Y. Hilton will have for Dallas in the offseason, not the rest of the season, the offseason? Or postseason, sorry.
Playoffs?
Yeah,
Minimal,
playoffs.
Minimal at best. You could kind of blame the quarterbacks of choice his last 2 years with the Colts, but I don't really see a major role for him. It's about the same thing. You look for something good, but it actually coming to fruition is probably a handful. You could use the placeholder of Deshaun Jackson. He comes in, he does a little bit, but how much does he really bring to the table? So we could hope he would, but I doubt it.
Okay. This last question, I'm going to give you 45 seconds because
I'm long-winded.
No. I wasn't going to say that. It was one of those I want to in depth, answer about this one.
Okay.
So we talked about Jalen Hurts and the
Mhm.
Eagles,
Mhm.
so on and so forth.
Mhm.
Right now they're sitting at 12 and 1. Or
Mhm.
no. Yeah, 12 and 1. I want your opinion. What is the likelihood that they finish the year with only one loss this season? Now, keep in mind, their next three opponents are Chicago, Dallas, and New Orleans.
66% chance. Their biggest test is going to be Dallas by far because of Dallas's ability to smother the run game and then attack the quarterback. So, but it kind of plays into their hands based on the quarterback they have and the targets that they also have. So it's hit or miss with the cornerbacks, especially with T Diggs back there. He's ball hawking. He's looking to make a big interception. So I think there's about a 60% chance they go undefeated the rest of the way. It'll go down if they're after the game with the Cowboys, they no longer have a need to play because they have the first round bye. So then the odds are pretty much higher, but I'd say they have a pretty good chance of going undefeated, especially if they end against the Saints.
Okay, this just a yes or no here. The last one here.
Mm-hmm.
If the Eagles do finish with one loss on the season, does that solidify Jalen Hurts getting MVP this year?
Yes.
There we go. All right. Well, that concludes lightning round. I don't really have anything else. Do you have anything else?
I think we've pretty much touched bases. For all those who are out there and they are in, like I said before at the beginning, top of the episode, in NFL fantasy leagues, these players that we put out today, I really think would create a big boost and let us know if they come to fruition or they don't, because that helps us to see and gauge what our input does for your fantasy league. So three things: like, rate, subscribe. And the gimme, tell a friend. Because if you like our podcast and you like the content we're giving to you, tell your friends that we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Twitter, we're live on Facebook. Come check us out. The off season is still packed and filled with fun episodes. We have a lot more at the Jocks of All Trades podcast network for you guys to enjoy. Just give us an opportunity to be a part of your podcasting world. All right. Once again, I'm Bugman Jay, that guy over there.
Matty Ice.
And we want to wish you guys a good night.
Woo!
Peace out.
Take care, guys.